G'day, and welcome to the TeamSFF show, podcast where hunting, fishing, and farming meet politics, common sense, and the occasional bad joke. Join Mark Benaziak, MLC, and Robert Borzak Jr. to dive into the issues affecting regional Australia, from public land access to gun laws and everything in between. Strap yourselves in, we're calling it how we see it.
Bring it a little bit closer, so it's kind of like, I mean, just bring the boom, swing it in. Like this, on the boom. Swing it in. Swing it in. There we go. Yeah. So it's more, so it's like the mic was on it.
Right.
Yeah, okay. All right. Hello, everyone out there. We're back again with another episode of our hit show. Here we are. How's it been going? There's been a lot happening since we last saw each other.
It has been a lot. Obviously, we've had the Hunting Conservation Bill go through an inquiry.
Yes.
Talked a bit about that last week.
Yep.
They've handed down their report.
Yep.
The report magically got leaked to the media by unknown individuals.
I wonder who on the committee would have leaked that.
It got leaked prior to it being tabled and published.
Okay.
Which is a bit of a no-no.
Yeah, right.
You can never really prove who did or didn't do it. But yeah, we've got a few suspects.
That's politics, right?
Yeah, that's politics.
Always leaks.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. There's no secrets or unknown rumors in that place.
Isn't that just good to know?
Yeah.
That things that are supposed to be kept between inquiry members only get leaked because it doesn't fit someone's political narrative.
Yeah. So obviously there was a certain part of the committee that didn't want the bill to proceed to debate. Look, that's 99% of the time, that's the recommendation that happens out of a bill inquiry, that the recommendation is that the bill proceed to debate, noting the concerns that were heard during the inquiry. Obviously, the Greens and AJP tried to move, amendments to the report to say that it didn't proceed to debate. They were defeated. And so we should be debating the bill this week, or start to re-debate the bill this week.
Okay.
So, but we have to start the whole process again. So technically, anyone that spoke before can get up and speak again.
Yeah.
So they may try that as a bit of a delaying tactic again.
And so that's the Parliament side of it all, which is it going through its process. But we all know the media campaign that's been run, which has really refreshed our memories on the treatment that we get.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it takes us back to when we first got public land hunting up, 23 odd years ago.
Yep.
And
it was the end of the world.
It was the end of the world. People don't get shot.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, 23 years later, there's been no serious incidents in state forests. We've been successfully hunting there quite well.
Yeah. It's a risk averse activity. They have a booking system.
Yeah.
There's a licensing system. Anyone who tries to tell you that they don't know if they're in a state forest that someone else is in there, that's not true.
Yeah.
The government knows exactly where you are. DPI knows exactly where you are.
Yeah.
They know exactly who you are.
Yeah.
If anything goes wrong, they know. So anyone tries to tell you, I just go hanging in a state forest, or I go running in a state forest, or bushwalking in a state forest, I could be shot. That is like a child wandering out their front gate that doesn't know anything, doesn't pay attention. That is dumbing down of the situation.
And look, Emma Hurst is not walking a Pomeranian in any of the state forests that we aren't in, so I think you're safe.
Yeah, exactly. And look, anybody that thinks going into public land and there's hunting, because adults know there's hunting in state forests in New South Wales. No one's that ignorant. And then you can claim that I just wandered in and this just happened. It's not like going to the park on the corner of your street.
No. And
I'm saying.
I've hunted in plenty of state forests. That's where I do most of my hunting. And I've come across fossagers, I've come across bushwalkers, mountain bikers, all sorts of people. And we just respect each other's ability to be there. They acknowledge that I'm there. We give each other a wide berth. We don't want to upset each other's activities. It's just a mutual respect.
And look, I always go back to the system in New Zealand. Now, they have a safety issue because they don't have mandatory rules about wearing blaze. They recommend blaze, but they don't have it mandatory. Like we made it mandatory for state forest hunting. You have to wear an item of blaze so you can be identified. But I was tahr hunting in New Zealand less than 10 years ago and up and around Mount Cook, and we'll ride towards the top there. And we're walking down the boardwalk in our hunting gear, and there's tourists walking up past us because they got choppered up there.
Yeah.
And no one batted an eyelid.
No.
And we'll spot and tar either side of the boardwalk.
Yeah.
That's why we were there. And no one batted an eyelid.
Different culture.
Different culture. Very different culture.
Appreciation of
and your
hunting and the right for hunting to exist as a culture. Whereas we've got the media trying to somehow conflate the amendment in the bill that talks about a cultural right to hunt. Somehow that equals a right to bear arms.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like this is the length that they go to.
And this is in my view, like it's interesting because when I said a lot's happened, obviously we've had the big shooting in America as well. And basically, because on their side of politics, like we've talked about that POCTA stuff, I think in our first conversation, and how they were going to effectively ban or take a major chunk out of fishing by reclassifying, what an animal is. That is a Trojan horse.
Yeah.
That is them banning one thing by doing something else. So because they do it, they think that's what we do. Whereas we have a bill, and because they have nefarious activities, and because they do things a roundabout way, like we uncovered how literally the Invasive Species Council have an office in a building called The Green Building. Their CEO literally worked for The Greens, and all these other environmental companies in The Green Building share an office in that building. So they share a building. There's two Greens MPs in that office. The head of the lower house and the upper house in Victoria. So what they do is the Greens can't directly influence it. And this is the way I read it. They can't directly influence government with their policy. So they create these third parties through their donors or whoever it may be, but definitely their supporters. And they are the ones who are independent. They're the ones who are non-government. And then they spend all this money giving advice to government, which government take. So they tell government how to spend their money, but they're getting their notes from the Greens.
It's a self-looking audit.
Yeah, exactly. And so
you talked about the projection of their behaviour onto others. Well, the classic example is that the rumour that they came up with straight away about our bill was that we'd done a deal on the workers' comp legislation. We're not selling injured workers for our bill, and which we obviously denied because it was totally untrue. We've been working on this bill with the government for several years now, even talking about it, with the last government, and but lo and behold, the Labor government announces the Great Whyalla National Park, and what is the deal in the lower house to ensure that they get a full-size Great Whyalla National Park? It was Alex Greenwich, Michael Reagan, Harold Scrooby, all inner city independents. What was the deal they cut? We'll let the workers' compensation legislation pass in the lower house.
There you go.
If you give us the full-size Great Whyalla National Park.
There you go. So I wonder if we'll hear them crowing about those MPs doing dirty deals. I wonder if we'll hear that.
No.
Yeah.
I won't.
Yeah. And then the other thing that they get you on with that is because, for want of a better phrase, you came from a real working life. You're not a lawyer. You're not one of these people it's your job to twist things and work things and find angles and find a way to sell things.
Yeah.
We're more down the line people. Senior is an accountant, for goodness sake. He's not a wordsmith. But these guys manage to, they know if they say, oh, you've done a dirty deal and there's no evidence of it, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then if we deny it, they say, oh, well, they're just lying.
Yeah.
So it's like, someone throws something at you like that and they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They do it on purpose. And then now that they've gone and done it, like I said, these people do things in a nefarious way.
Yeah.
So they just throw it at you and know that you try and be honest in politics and this is what you get.
Yeah.
And the other interesting thing was at the start of this bill when it first came out, and we had like on 2GB, Senior was on 2GB with the Invasive Species Council CEO. And Ben Fordham said to him, so this is common sense, right? You guys should be hand in glove.
Yeah.
But the Invasive Species Council is getting propped up by the Greens, and the Greens can't be pro-gun in any means necessary.
No.
They're happy to outsource things as long as we can't look at them killing things. There's no camera on these choppers.
Yeah.
No one knows what's going on.
No.
They're saying these numbers are reported, but we haven't seen any oversight of them.
No, like we know from my questioning and estimates of the dodgy made-up figures.
Yes.
Up at
twice in the same day.
Twice in the same day.
Yeah, identical.
The same numbers across the 2 days.
Yeah.
Like that's
and then bombing up empty gullies.
Yeah, and we were in there, and there was no.
Yeah, but those numbers must be believed. But our numbers, nonsense. You guys don't do anything. Well, it's like, well, where's the transparency?
Yeah.
So that's fine. Just show us.
Yeah.
And then someone like the Pig Dog Association comes along, and they're just like, oh, none of that matters. It's all downplayed.
Yeah.
But because, as I was saying, they're propped up by the Greens, politics comes into it. And then what do we have? We have ferals everywhere in the bush.
Yeah.
So they've politicized something that can be common sense, but common sense obviously has no place in politics.
No, and it clearly doesn't have a place with the media. When they're talking about this, we obviously had the ABC interview.
There was a few. There was a few interesting ones, to be honest. The first one, the first. Yeah, I know it was the second one when he had Senior on.
Yeah, and clearly the journo had received a text from somebody to ask Robert the question.
But before you say that, if you remember in the interview, Hamish, he obviously doesn't know what he's doing, right?
No, not.
He was on the Project and Q&A when it got both the 2 shows he was on got cancelled, right? So he's landed on morning radio in Sydney, right? So it's middle-aged women radio, right? My mum loves 702, okay? She's 72. So that's his demo. So the bush is not going to be his place of expertise, his area of expertise. So he gets on there. He talks to him about my culture, and he's like, oh, this right to hunt. You want this right to hunt. Because I was still framing it around, like it hadn't morphed into this is a Trojan horse for the gun lobby or right to bear arms yet, but they were moving that narrative in that direction at that time.
Yeah.
So he said to him, this is my culture. It's my cultural right to go out and get meat for my family from the bush. And Hamish said to him, if you remember, on his own, with no producer's help, you could tell, he said, but can't you get your meat from the supermarket?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know about you, but they're the conversations we had when I was in high school.
Yeah.
That's like high school thinking. It's like, yeah, but really that's your takeaway? Like you're still at that stage. You're so disconnected from the bush or from the outdoors that you're just like, no, I get everything from the supermarket.
Yeah. That's right. It's right up there when you say, to someone, I went hunting on the weekend, and they go, oh, what'd you catch?
Yeah.
It's like this image of me crash tackling it.
Yeah. But that's one of the first conversations you have with people is, meat from the supermarket. Like, are you surprised your meat doesn't come in plastic wrapping? That's like the first thing that you talk about.
Yeah.
And the 702 ABC guy, he's probably on 300 grand. Is talking like that? That's his.
Well, if you're on 300 grand, you don't need to worry about, the price of meat going up in the supermarket.
Exactly.
You don't have those cost of living pressures.
Exactly.
And that money. And so you can take the narrow-minded view of, well, I'll just keep buying my scotchies from the supermarket wrapped in plastic. And
or they're meat-free meat.
Yeah, they're meat-free meat. Which obviously is made to look like meat, which probably speaks to a broader problem with veganism. But it's just this narrow-minded view that you can have. When, you're on that sort of money. So what I like to supplement my diet. I do buy meat from a butcher. But I also like to supplement that diet with free-range meat that
that's out there
that I've shot myself.
And that you've got while you're getting fresh air. You've got, while you're getting some vitamin D. While you're doing it with your friends and family or your club or whoever else. So that
and it's healthy.
100%.
Venison is very lean.
It's better than kangaroo.
But
no one talks about it because it's not in the supermarket, basically. Or yes, it is in some supermarkets, but no one talks about how if you can eat venison only. Well, really, the big wigs like Rogan and stuff talk about how they eat, because they obviously have giant elk over there. So you can eat an elk over a year sort of thing. But everyone agrees that it's the best meat. It's the healthiest. It does not carry disease like kangaroos do.
Yeah.
Every second kangaroo you cut open, it's got worms. So you've got to be careful. But not with venison.
No.
Pigs, you've got to be careful. Rabbits, you've got to be careful. But venison, no. It's the top of the tree, top of the shelf. Fanciest restaurants is venison. The fanciest dish is the venison Wellington. Like that's as, with proper mushroom. Not with the old death caps. Yeah, so, and then from that, he gets a note from his producer. Zinger.
Dogs.
Yeah.
I think everyone was sort of.
The response was great. He just said, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. Like, it was probably as polite as you possibly could be, with such a moronic comment.
Yeah.
And clearly coming from
this guy has his holidays at resorts.
Yeah.
He probably never gets mud under his boots. If he does, fantastic. I'd love to know, where he goes in the bush, because you can't be that ignorant if you're someone that spends any time in the bush.
Yeah.
Or in a country town.
Yeah.
Like,
everyone knows what a pig dog is.
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, it's just.
And it went further from there, if you remember. It went further from there where he said, oh, so pigs. So you eat the pigs. And Senior's like, yeah. And we export them.
Yeah.
And that's one of the great oxymorons in Australia, that we export our pigs, our wild pigs, as, wild boar. Yeah. And they love it in Europe. But here, it's not encouraged.
No, but if he'd actually spent some time out at a bush show, the camping caravan show, all those sort of bush shows, he would have come across a salami stall.
Yep,
that had wild boar salami.
At Marrickville markets in Sydney, you can get wild boar salami, you can get venison salami, all that sort of stuff. But maybe it's just not in the Bondi markets. Maybe that's
maybe.
But yeah, so that was kind of the start of it, and then it became obviously. Old mate from Tasmania came up. I think he's in Victoria. He
lives in Victoria.
He lives in Victoria. He came up from Victoria and spoke to the Premier, and even his language wasn't right. Like, they were purposely dancing around it because they're trying to say this bill is going to water down gun laws, but they weren't saying this part of the bill was going to water down gun laws. They were saying this is the biggest attack in gun laws. So it was all headlines.
Yeah.
But if there's nothing in the story, if there's no substance to what you're saying, then that's fake news.
But most people don't read below the headline.
And that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
And then we end up with the opposition leader here, for as long as he'll be opposition leader, saying that, we're trying to bring in an NRA style gun lobby.
Oh, that's Mark Spankman.
Yeah. Spookman. He is. I bet you we spooked after this weekend.
Did you hear about the radio poll that was done down in Kiama?
No.
And obviously they were asking all the different questions from people coming out of the polling booths.
Yeah.
And they asked this bloke, oh, well, do you know who the opposition leader is? And the bloke goes, oh, yeah. I know him. His name's Mark Spankman.
Oh, goodness.
And like I heard it.
Well, at least people know his name now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, I was asking them, do you know his name? And they're like, nope.
Yeah. Well, I heard it, and I called up a couple of my mates from down the way. I said, did you do that as a piss take?
Oh, so it wasn't your mate?
No, it wasn't my mates, but it was something that they would have done. Mate, that's brand recognition there, right there, isn't it?
Yeah. They were funny down there in the Kiama by-election. I saw a story on election day, and one of the guys handing out for legalised cannabis. I don't know what the context was, but he just said to him, he had the how to vote and it had the cannabis leaf on it. He's like, oh, if you just give it a little scratch and give it a little sniff.
I'll scratch and sniff.
Yeah, you can smell the good stuff, if you know what I mean. Like, that's great. A great sense of humour down there.
Good old scratch and sniff stickers. Love that.
Yeah, so we had it ended up turning into, we're having, and even, Spankman was saying, an NRA style gun lobby. And it's like, so that means the Game Council was an NRA style gun lobby. So were they banging on about those things? Because I don't remember any of that.
No, I don't remember any of that either. Funny though about old Wally from Victoria, he never uttered a word when they opened up more national parks.
That's very true.
For hunting. So
that's very true. In his home state. So was that them increasing the gun lobby down there?
Yeah.
Was that them?
What dragged his backside up to New South Wales?
Yeah.
or how much did it cost to drag his backside up to New South Wales?
Yeah.
To make a solid dance about that.
And the funny thing was, Mr. Bendel, who was with him, he said in the inquiry he has a firearms license. He has a Victorian hunting license. So you think that we want everyone to have machine guns? We don't. This is a hunting bill. You're a hunter. So what are we disagreeing on here? Because the bill doesn't point to any of that sort of stuff.
Apparently, we're going to be hunting with flamethrowers and grenades. Channel 7. Body armor around if I'm carrying.
What's the body armor for?
A couple hundred kilos with it, mate.
What's the night fishing goggles for?
I don't
Are
know.
we assaulting Osama's compound?
Maybe.
Or something?
I don't know. It's
SEAL Team 6.
Yeah.
Crikey. Anyway, so all that stuff got added on.
Yeah.
And then it got all the way to where the Premier said, now I don't support the right to hunt. Okay. Well, we had Nathan Moran from the Aboriginal Land Council, Sydney Metro, and all he talked about was his the cultural side of it. So if they want to abandon that for their political goals or their political means, then that's fine, because you're abandoning their cultural right to hunt as well.
Yeah.
Because they have land that they want to hunt on that they can't. Yes, they have their own land. It's under their own control. It's under their own trusteeship. But just like everybody else, there's things they can't do on it. So they want to be able to hunt on it. They want to be able to manage them. They want, manage animals on it. No, you can't do that. Yeah. So it's like, okay, so now you're erasing his cultural right to hunt as well.
Yeah.
So,
and the irony, the biggest handbrake on Aboriginal people being able to have self-determination and do what they want on their land doesn't come from us.
Yeah.
Comes from the Greens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Comes from the Greens.
Yeah. So
they say to the Aboriginal people, you can have your land, but no, you can't develop it.
No.
You can't.
Nope.
You can't make money on it for your community.
Nope.
No, it just has to stay there as essentially a pseudo national park.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically. And then
how patronizing is that? They talk about, paternalism and protectionism.
Yep.
And the Greens are doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah. I know. And it's disgraceful, because they wind up in a spot where the white man's telling them, no, you can't do that. But they're saying, hang on a second, I thought you're on our team. And they're like, oh, no, but it's tied up in something else here.
Yeah.
So now the white man's telling you can't do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, all the common sense, the simplicity of that bill was so straightforward, but it got grabbed, it got tied up, it got blown up, it got lied about so much.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't get a fair go.
No. But we had a bill that actually united people around culture.
100%.
And all the Greens and AJP wanted to do was divide us again on culture and say, no, only Aboriginal people have a cultural connection to hunting.
Yeah.
No,
that's not
we've
true.
all, we're all here living and breathing because someone somewhere down the line, one of our ancestors was a great hunter or gatherer. Otherwise, we wouldn't be.
Exactly. So, and it was funny. I think someone said that in the inquiry, and I don't know who it was, whether it was Animal Justice or the Greens, when they said you've had a hunter in your family, like you're descended from hunters, and they were like, no. It's like, yes.
Yeah.
What do you think you were doing? You think you were a lawyer back in the cave days? Like, that didn't exist.
Yeah.
They were hunter gatherers. So you are either hunting or gathering or benefiting from a hunter gatherer. That level of thinking hasn't even entered their brains.
No.
That's where we come. Like, of course it's our culture.
Yeah.
And we talk about Aboriginal people having a continual culture over 60,000 or up to 100,000 years, whatever the consensus is. And hunting's part of that culture. But then also in Europe, where we come from, and we're the native peoples of that country, they've had a continual culture of the same amount of time.
That's right.
And hunting has been part of that. That's why they're still hunting there.
Yeah.
When I went to France and I was hunting over there, the hunting system they use is 1,000 years old, and it's never changed. Like that's serious. That's a proper continual hunting culture that's gone forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then now we're in a unique situation with, hunting feral animals, and anyway, so that's where we are with the bill. So as you said, the report's been leaked, but it's been handed down. Officially now?
Officially tabled. So we should get to debate. started re-debating it this week.
Okay. Okay, and then that just goes through the Parliament process, right?
Once again, goes through the parliamentary process.
All right.
So, yeah.
So everyone keep an eye on the social media, because we'll keep you updated on everything like we did last time.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's going to be the same old nonsense, but they've had a bit of time to get their silly messaging around now. So they'll probably come out singing from the same hymn sheet, because at the start it was dirty deal, dirty deal, dirty deal. Now it'll be NRA gun lobby, NRA gun lobby.
Yeah. Be the same lines, but they'll still try them. Yeah. And look, this is why we didn't want to go into an inquiry.
Yeah.
This is why we tried to plead to some of the people, on the conservative side, so-called conservative side, not to get it to inquiry. The bill wasn't going to be improved.
No.
By it going to
nothing amazing came out of that, other than just two sides going at each other.
No, but that was the viewpoint of the Libertarian, that we would somehow magically get national parks
out of the inquiry.
and we would be able to improve the bill, and it's just like,
okay.
Yeah, welcome to the real world. That's not how inquiries work.
Yeah.
People kick bills to inquiry to monster them.
Yeah.
And break them down.
Yeah.
So it's not to improve them.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what was tried to be done to this bill.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll definitely keep an eye on that. So why don't we talk a little bit about Kiama on the weekend?
Yeah.
Because we had the by-election.
Yeah.
That was a very strange setup that got us there.
Yeah.
We had
very strange.
A extremely unique circumstance with a member who got re-elected while he was charged for sex offences.
Yeah.
And then only resigned when he was bail revoked after being convicted. Just to set it up a little bit more, obviously this is 18 months out of an election. So he'd been the member for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Sorry, over 2 years.
Yeah.
Over 2 years. And then, so they're going back to the polls in 18 months. The undecided vote there was about 19%.
Yeah.
High undecided.
Yeah, it was.
Obviously, the government needed this seat to get a majority, and the Liberal Party need the seat to save the leader's job.
Yeah.
So
it was obviously previously a Liberal held seat.
It was before he left the party.
Yeah. So
did he leave the party, or was he kicked out?
It was essentially he got kicked out, obviously because of the charges that he was facing.
Yeah.
And then
even with the scandals,
took
the charges to kick him out.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yes.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah. So you had the Libs running there, try and save Mark Spankman.
Yeah.
Obviously hasn't worked.
That's a quote from the Kiama people, not from us.
That's right.
Yeah.
But we endorse those comments.
That's what he's known as, from people in Kiama.
Yeah. And
we endorse those comments.
Yeah, so you had those two. Obviously you had the Greens, and then there was and obviously we ourselves ran.
Yeah, 13 runners.
13 runners. So it was a big field.
Yeah.
Which obviously dilutes the vote a bit.
Yep. And I'll bring up the
results.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a large field dilutes the vote. You had a large number of the candidates that weren't actually from the area.
Yep.
Which generally doesn't go well for people.
Do you mean
voters? It doesn't resonate well for voters. If you've got people outside the area, particularly see like Kiama. Like I grew up and lived there for 17 years.
Okay.
Was part of the local soccer team. Father was heavily involved in the community.
What's the soccer team called down there?
Kiama Soccer Club. Yeah.
Oh, not the Kiama Killers or something?
No.
The Kiama Koalas?
No Koalas.
No, oh, that's a shame.
But heavily involved in the community. But even now, me coming back there,
yep.
I would be seen as an outsider.
Yeah.
So very, I guess very very parochial in that way.
Yeah.
But still, there was 13 people, and I think there was about 5 of them, about 5 or 6 of them that were not from the area.
Yeah, just blow-ins.
Just blow-ins.
Yeah.
So that obviously has a bit of an impact.
Yeah.
But yeah, look.
So the results are interesting.
Yeah.
We had top of the ticket was the Greens, and they managed 8%,
which is significantly below their average.
And for the pole position, you'd expect more than that.
Well, pole position normally gets you about 1.5% on average.
Yeah.
In terms of the donkey vote.
Yeah.
So, so that's well below their average.
And then obviously the Liberals were confident because they got spot 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they only wound up with 12,000 votes.
Yeah.
So
that
26%.
That might have had something to do with the Liberal candidate and the Greens candidate doing joint press releases with each other.
Crikey. I didn't see that.
On things. So,
great.
Maybe the Liberal Party needs to move away from the woke left a bit.
Yeah, they do. Get out of the city, guys. Get in the bush.
Yeah, find new friends.
The Greens don't go in the bush. Neither do you. So no wonder they were doing press conferences together.
Yeah.
And then the only other ones of note, Don Fuggle, which is his real name.
Yeah.
He's the guy with the hat and the glasses, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
He's the guy that his badge is him with the hat and the glasses.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. I'm
pretty sure.
Yeah, I met him down at the Meet the Candidate forum out at Kiama, and also on the.
Is that right? Okay.
Down at the polling booths. So.
And then obviously we had Felix, who was our guy who managed to get 5.1%.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Felix was a great candidate.
He is.
We obviously love his work, and we thank him for his duty that he did.
Yeah.
He was
a natural. Like I
he impressed everyone.
He did. Even all the other candidates said he was just down to earth, and they were expecting him to. They openly admitted, we expected you to be some sort of country bumpkin kick, redneck sort of thing, and you surprised us.
Yeah,
but you won't do it again.
Yeah. I know.
So, but he was just a natural.
He was, and he knew local issues.
He knew local issues.
Yeah,
because he was local.
Yep,
born and bred.
Yep.
Raises his family. Down there. So
yeah.
He's definitely a one to watch.
Yeah, definitely one to watch, and he's one of us. So good luck.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was an interesting result. We'll see what happens with the Libs this next week or this sitting week. Whether there's a leadership challenge.
Oh, come on, it'd be great.
Oh,
but who's going to take the job?
Well, they're talking about Kelly Sloan from North Shore,
who's been in there for 2.5 years.
Been in there for 2.5 years. She's also of the left persuasion.
Yeah.
So
that's what they need to go further left.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that'll help them. Everyone's telling them no, turn around.
Yeah,
go back.
Even their coalition colleagues are telling them not to, right?
Yeah. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah. All right. Well, Parliament's in for more madness.
Always.
Yeah.
It's the most bizarre workplace in the world.
Yeah. Cool.
That's it for this episode. If you like what you heard, give us a follow and share with your mates. And if you don't, you're probably from the Greens. We'll catch you next time. And remember, speak up, stand up, and keep your powder dry.